Welcome to the girls. We're here at our Laurel Mall location, and if it's the first time you're joining us, you've been missing out on some great shows because we've had a fabulous season this season. We're joined by my daughter-in-law, Lori Lissant, and of course, Janine Lissant, my co-host. The three of us are excited today because we have a lot of neat things we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I'm like on caffeine high. Remember that Laurel Mall's having great deals too. I just talked about $1 flip-flops at Old Navy.
Wow.
So if you don't know what to get Dad for Father's Day.
Oh yeah, could you see Dad in flip-flops?
Yeah, I know. I said that. I was like, he doesn't wear flip-flops.
Oh my gosh.
So what do you got there?
Well, I've been holding on to this and saving it. I have it for about 2 weeks now, but I took a chance at our church, St. John Bosco. They had a tricky tray raffle. So, you know, they must have had 45 different baskets there. They're always so great. So it's the biggest fundraiser of the year for them with their big festival and whatever. So I bought all these tickets and I went and I thought, oh my gosh, look at this. There was a basket that had the world's largest Hershey bar in it. Wow. And my dad loves Hershey bars.
You sure it's the world's largest?
Oh my God. Well, that's what it said on the sign. But anyhow, the basket included this. And guess who won it? Me. Look it.
It only cost
and I have my ticket.
150 tickets.
No, it didn't. It only
and a lot of calories.
Like $5. But how about me? I can't eat chocolate, so it's safe with me. I haven't cut into it, but I'm planning on going down to see my dad at Fritzinger Town where he lives. The people down there love chocolate. They're always eating chocolate. So I figure, well, we might have to have a little chocolate party.
So you won that on a raffle?
I did. I won this on a raffle. Is that a sweet deal?
That is so funny. Deal. You got a lot of comments on this chocolate bar on Facebook, and I couldn't even believe it. People just wanted to dive into it. And then you asked how many calories?
Yes. Okay, so here's the answer. Everybody was posting how many calories they had. How many calories do you think?
All right, so maybe one chocolate bar is 200 calories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
There's a few thousand in there.
15, 16. 4,444.
Beep. How about you?
I'm going to say 7,000.
Okay, get ready. 11,500 calories in this chocolate bar.
Wow.
I'd eat it anyway.
Yeah. Well, here you go.
Whatever. If you don't know, it doesn't count.
You know what? I think you could probably burn that off just eating
4,000, I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, that would be half, I guess.
Yeah, 11,500 calories. I don't eat that like in a week.
We know.
All right. Well, anyhow,
well, so
let's
you
put
won
this
that
down.
You won that on the lottery, right? So I have a story.
Yeah, here's the ticket.
You were lucky.
Here's the ticket. 087-8329. So 29. You know, you're lucky. So a lot of my lucky numbers are on there.
So speaking of lucky, my son's birthday just passed, and I was going to his birthday party. I had to stop at the pharmacy to pick up my daughter's prescription. I never have cash on me, but I had 2 5s. And you know how I feel about gambling.
Oh my God, you had 2 5s. You're rich.
Right. I don't like to, like if I go to the casino, I'll spend my money on buying something or drinking something or eating something, but I rarely gamble.
Right.
So I decided I was waiting for my thing to be for her to ring it up, and I bought 2 lottery tickets. I really went big. I got 2 $5 lottery tickets.
Wow.
One was a Wheel of Fortune, and one I think was like the Lucky Sevens. I could be wrong because I usually don't play the lottery. So I go in my car, take my lottery tickets. Now I'm in a hurry because I have to go up the hill to Boyer's, buy the food, blah, 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 blah. So I'm scratching it off. First one, nothing. I was like, why did I play? What a waste of $5, right? Because, you know, why play? Second one, scratching it off, scratching it off. I'm like, oh, well, none of my numbers match, but I got this wheel on Wheel of Fortune.
The wheel.
I got the wheel.
Wow.
And it's like, so I read the fine print, you know, and you're, reading, and it's like, if you get the wheel, win every single prize. So now I'm really scratching away to see what I won there. I won $100.
$100?
So that was the lucky part of the conversation. So I'm so excited. Now I'm looking to see what time it is. I don't want to keep the lottery ticket in the car because you know I'll lose it.
Or somebody will steal it.
Right, so I turn the car off. I go back into the pharmacy. Now I am so excited that I won $100. I swing open the door, right? Literally took half my toe off. Oh. And there were 3 people inside. the door, and you know when you like stub your foot, it was almost like a knife going through my foot. There's blood throughout my whole sandal, white sandals, and the three ladies look at me and go, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yes," because I felt so embarrassed. But I'm like, "But I won $100." So I mean, bloody foot and all, got $100. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to spend a copay.
Did you go for a tetanus shot?
No. So the crippled toe, it was not the pinky toe, it was the toe next to it that you usually don't use.
The ring toe.
Yeah, the ring toe. So it was fine. It was a little bloody. I didn't lose the nail yet, but it was like black and blue underneath. But I limped on that thing for like 2 days. But I'm thinking, what are the chances that I won and then almost broke my toe off over it because I was so excited.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Moral of the story, don't play the lottery. You might hurt yourself.
Oh yeah, how about her? She plays the big Powerball once and didn't win. And she goes, I said, well, are you going to play again? It didn't go off yet. She said, no, I didn't win. I'll never play again.
Yeah.
We don't play either.
See what I mean?
It's
I
like
like
whatever.
to just buy stuff instead of.
Yes, I like
Spend
to
it on
have something for my money.
Right.
Rather than taking a chance that I might have something for my money.
Right. You'll
All
spend
right.
$100 on a purse.
Right.
But you won't spend $100 doing like machines and stuff like
No,
that.
exactly.
That's
I want
how
to
I
take something back with me.
Well, speaking of odds, you have some odds.
Yes, we have a special guest with us. About 2 in a million people have this disease that she's going to be talking about. She also suffers with this disease. Worldwide, only 2 in a million have this disease. It's called Cushing's. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to meet with Lauren Miller, and we're going to have her mom on with us, Kim Miller, and her son AJ is going to join us in just a little bit. But stay with us, and you can learn about this disease and maybe possible symptoms that you or someone you know may have. It's a very rare disease, and we're going to talk about it here today on The Girls. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching The Girls here on SSP TV. Remember, you can go to our YouTube channel anytime and you can follow along with those notifications. Just search SSP TV. Well, today we're talking about a disease that affects only 2 in a million people worldwide. It's Cushing's disease. And we're happy to have Lauren Miller with us and her mom, Kim. And later on, your son, AJ, will be joining us on the set. And Lauren is no stranger to our family because she actually used to work for our family as a reporter, right?
Yes, many years ago.
Many moons ago, we were talking about that, how big our kids have gotten and all that fun stuff.
Yes, the time goes way too fast.
Yeah, it does. It does. So your son, you have a son, and how old is he?
He's 9.
He's 9. And your mom's with you because you've been with Lauren through this entire journey of...
The entire journey.
And it's been a long journey. We have about 5 pages of journey of documentation because it started way back in about 2003, right?
Yeah, even friends that I had in college feel that it started back then. I mean, I was always sick, and I had this high blood pressure that was so uncontrolled. And I mean, I was 19, 20 years old, and
To have high blood pressure at that age, that is so unusual.
And I mean, I was constantly coming back home because I was sick. Just things like I had to get a tonsillectomy. All of a sudden I had strep throat all the time, but you know, so much of that came at a very hard time for me. And I did graduate college still in 4.5 years, so I was very proud of that. And then I would say like my first year working for you guys I started in 2003, so it was like 2004, I started with the migraines. And
I remember that.
yeah, that they just kind of came out of the middle of nowhere. But then I thought, you know, they're common. And then, you know, by 2006, I was getting foot ulcers, major infections. I actually had metal in my foot from a previous foot surgery that my body started to reject that, and I had to get that removed.
Lauren, let me stop you right there. You were a young person with migraines and having all of these other symptoms. What were the doctors saying? I mean, you're going to the doctor and you're having all of these complaints. What were the excuses for like what you had? It wasn't coming together. Was it
They just treated the symptoms. You know, you have high blood pressure.
No cause? I mean,
Diabetes. They started treating her for diabetes also.
Really?
When you were so young too, so I know a lot of times you hear, well, you're only 19, you're only 20 years old, you're too young to have all these issues. So that makes it probably more difficult too, and frustrating as, you know, for you. What was that like to not really know what was going on?
At that time, I guess I just didn't know any better. I just dealt with it, and I figured the doctors knew what they were doing. They gave me medicine to try to control this, and I didn't really think much more at that point.
It was almost like a Band-Aid approach, because you're going on with your life, and even when you were working with us, you had health issues, and that you would go to the doctors, they would fix it, we would move on, everything would be okay for a little bit.
Exactly.
And, you know, Mom would know best because you've been with Lauren through this journey.
It was like a Band-Aid, just like you said. They would treat every symptom, but nobody seemed to know what was wrong with her, or, you know, get to the point where they would think, is she making this up, or, you know, what's going on? And that was very, very hard. I mean, it was really a hard journey, particularly in the beginning.
Too, for Lauren.
Very
because
frustrating.
I reached out to you after you finally came public with what you were actually dealing with since 2003, and I'm thinking, wow, this is great to give your knowledge to someone out there who might be suffering and frustrated, because they might be one of the 2 in a million who are suffering from Cushing's. They could live right here, or they can be watching us, you know, somewhere else in the world and thinking, well, I have insomnia, difficulty concentrating, struggling at work, you know, then led to the weight gain, right, in 2008.
Read the list of this. I mean, just listen. You started battling migraines in 2004. Then it was infections, foot ulcers, peritonitis, insomnia, difficulty concentrating, struggling at work, a little bit of weight gain, a miscarriage, out of control bruising, fatigue, sweating, buffalo hump begins on the back of the neck, acne, thinning of the hair. You saw numerous doctors. Then 2009, hematomas started appearing, which are black and blue marks all on their own. Instant edema, bed rest by the time you were 3 months, you were pregnant at this time. Rapid weight gain, uncontrolled blood pressure, multiple hospital admissions, a C-section 2 weeks early, September the 11th. Then you got MRSA, it took 2 surgeries to remove. 2010, hair loss, facial hair growth, cognitive difficulties, you were falling, trouble standing up. How old were you in 2010, if I may ask?
28.
28 years old, you're falling and trouble standing up, trouble walking, and you have a baby. Then you got the large buffalo hump, diabetes, 3 blood pressure meds, unbearable sweating, muscle loss, bone and muscle pain. This is when you saw numerous doctors that tried to treat the symptoms, but no diagnosis. You were ignored and treated badly.
Stop there, because those were your symptoms.
That's where I'm stopping.
So-
I'm like, what the heck?
Where
how
were you
about
at that
Mom?
point?
Well, at that point, I was at a loss because I knew there was something wrong. Something was seriously wrong with her. And at this point, they would just kind of, not that they're bad doctors, they just didn't know any better. So they would just keep treating the symptoms and like, oh, well, we'll see you in a month, or we'll see you in 2 months. And at this point, I knew something was really wrong.
And Lauren, at that time, she was always very skinny. I mean, we used to
Yes.
joke about it because she had an appetite and she was always skinny.
Very thin.
And she gained almost
143 pounds.
We have
She
photos,
gained.
right, that we're going
Yeah,
to show?
I do have some
So
photos.
we do
Yes.
have those up on the screen to show the rapid, psychologically, what was that like for you?
Not good.
That was, I mean, I think that still affects me today because I'm so much more self-conscious than I ever was. I mean, in 1 year, I went from a size 6 to a 26.
And the doctors told you it was from having a baby, you're overeating, you're doing this, you're doing that. And as a woman, that must be very frustrating to think, well, then you go home, well, maybe it is me. Maybe I am eating too much. Maybe it's stress. Maybe it's taking care of my health, where it's almost internalizing, you know, as we would talk over the years over like, what, I'm just gaining all this weight.
And it was very
Yeah.
depressing for her.
Oh,
She was
sure.
battling, you know, battling with herself, like getting so sad and so depressed, and because nobody would listen.
How did you get through a day, Lauren? You know, listening to all of this, you know, I would want to stay in bed and maybe cover up and just forget the world behind me, but how did you go through a day?
Well, I had a baby to take care of, and he saved my life because I think I fought to find somebody to listen to me because I knew I wanted to see that little boy grow up. I knew I wanted to see him graduate high school, then college, and get married and have grandchildren someday. Like I knew I wanted to see his life. And I always say, like, you know, it felt like when he, you know, the time I got pregnant, I was already starting to, you know, obviously for a while, I was actually getting many of the symptoms. I didn't know I had Cushing's at the time, but it seemed like, oh, it's kind of a hard time. I have all this other stuff going on, but there couldn't have been a better time because I made my...
God sends you a gift.
It was a gift from God.
He sends us the guardian angels in the most unlikely places. Well, stay with us. When we come back, we're going to learn more about Lauren's struggle and battle with her Cushing's and where she's at right now. And you're going to get to meet AJ. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to The Girls. We're here with Kim and Lauren. Lauren, we're going to talk a little bit about, you were 6 months really till, God forbid, you could have died from your disease. Tell us a little bit more about all of that and how you were dealing with that and how you finally got that diagnosis.
Well, at that point, my son was 1.5 years old and I was desperate. I had doctors, actually an endocrinologist, and this is an endocrine disorder. I had an endocrinologist actually look me in the face and tell me I didn't know what I was talking about. I'll see you in 1 year. Giving me more medication for diabetes. I was on 3 blood pressure medications. And I just, you know, in my mind, I just kept thinking, what if I don't make it 1 year? I pretty much dropped all my doctors. I thought to myself, I need to see somebody new who never had seen me before and somebody who was new to me. And Dr. Farag Salama, he was an OBGYN. He came to Hazleton. He was only here for about 1 year. He went in with Dr. Mears in that office. I went to see him and he said, you know, I'm gonna figure this out and I'm gonna help you. And he sent me for the MRI of the brain and found the tumor. And we went from there. I started going.
The tumor was where, on your pituitary gland?
On the pituitary, which is located in the base of the brain. And from there, I went to the University of Pennsylvania, where I'm seen for everything pretty much since. And
So you were diagnosed in Hazleton, Pennsylvania.
yes.
You've been to doctors, not for anything, but I mean, I'm proud of where we're from, and we have some fine doctors here at home, and that just proves, like, you've been everywhere, and someone from Hazleton took the time and actually diagnosed you pretty much near death on
And
a
it was
case.
a gift.
Right.
It was a gift to Lauren because that's what she just needed to hear. Something was wrong.
It wasn't
just
in
tell
her
me what
head.
it is.
Right.
Yeah, and I remember I was excited to go to brain surgery. I drove, like I said, I'm driving, you know, because I just wanted to
She
get
was
better.
so happy.
So once you were diagnosed, and then you had the brain surgery. Did things started getting a little bit better?
Unfortunately, I think early diagnosis is the key, and that's why I'm glad I could be here to talk about it, because my outcome wasn't as good, I think, as it would have been if I was diagnosed sooner. I had the first brain surgery. They took out the tumor. It seemed successful within 1 year, though within 6 months, I was getting all the symptoms back.
So did it start growing back?
This time, they knew by my labs that the Cushing's disease had returned, but there was no visible tumor the second time around. So they removed both adrenal glands, because without adrenal glands, you cannot make cortisol. So it cures the Cushing's disease, yes. So technically, I don't technically have that disease anymore, but now I have adrenal insufficiency. So it's like you trade one for the other.
Well, at the beginning, you said that what kept you going was your son AJ, and he is with us here, so we want to bring him on set so that everyone can meet your little miracle, right?
Yes, he is.
Welcome back. We're here with AJ. So AJ, tell me, what has this been like for you as a 9-year-old boy, watching mom kind of have some ups and downs? How do you feel about all of that?
I feel fine with it, but I'm just glad that she's alive.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you enjoy lots of different fun things with mom.
Yep, even though she can't do some of the bigger things, but we still do things like play games,
That's great.
watch movies, and lots of fun stuff.
That's wonderful.
And I'm
That's
sure you're a
great.
big help around the house too. You help mom around the house?
Well, kind
A
of.
little bit. You're still a boy at heart. So take us fast forward to now, Lauren, because you had another brain surgery. I mean, we can talk for hours about this. You had, 16 surgeries overall in your life. You were able to lose a lot of weight. But where are you right now as far as your health and moving forward to the next step?
I've good days and bad days. The Cushing's disease left a lot of damage. So I have, autoimmune issues now, and other, a lot of healing issues, things that I probably wouldn't have had if I was diagnosed sooner. I have friends that have the same doctors as I do that were diagnosed quickly and they went back to work and they can live a pretty somewhat normal life. And unfortunately for me, it was found very, very late. So
You said you have friends who have the same thing.
yeah, we kind of, there's a little group of us. Our doctor at the University of Pennsylvania, we kind of met through her, and there's a little group of us that, I drive down to Philly
That's nice.
every once in a while and we meet. And it's nice to be able to talk to somebody who understands.
Right.
Yeah,
a
that
support
external
group.
support is very nice.
Do you share with other people? Is there a group that you belong to on Facebook, or is there something, an outreach for other people that you could share?
There are 2 sites that have a lot of information, and there's many patient stories on there too. kickcushings.com, and that's actually a group I'm very, very active in. And there's the CSRF, the Cushing Support and
CSR.
Research Foundation. So it's the csrf.net.
All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions or anything for Lauren, you could reach her at the different sites that we gave you. And as always, we tell you to stay tuned to the girls. You can watch us on any of your devices, tell your friends, and we'll see you next time.